So, module 1. So, as I told you, module 1 is completely deals with the logic, logical statements, connectives, and propositional calculus, and the inference theory or proportional calculus, all these things. So, I asked you to study about logical statements and tell you what do you mean by a logical statement yesterday. Have you just have a glance about it? Could you find time to read about logical statements? Sorry, okay. So what do you mean by a logical statement? Logical statement is declarative statement. Declarative.
Meaningful
Yes,
statement
yes.
that
Please
is
say. You're
a
saying something.
meaningful statement that is either true or false.
False. Okay. So in English, there is a statement called a declarative statement. What do you mean by declarative statement?
Either true or false.
Nilama, declarative statement. General English I'm speaking. There is something called declarative statement. What do you mean by declarative? That says something. Says what? Something. What does it declare something about something, right? I'm saying, right? The sun rises in the east. It declares something, right? So a logical statement is a declarative statement which will have either the truth value true or false. Okay. Many things are there. I will change it and give it. So logic is a study of abstract reasoning. Specifically, whether you are going to say whether something is correct or not. Okay, all these stories and are not needed. There are two types of logics. One is propositional logic. The other is predicate logic. Propositional logic, general thing here. You'll take one or two sentences, you'll use connectives and conclude something about that, right? But when you go to predicate logic, we speak about predicates. What do you mean by predicates? In English, there are two things, right? Subject and predicate. So what do you mean by subject and what do you mean by predicate? I'm saying some girl, sorry, okay. I'm Shalini, I'm saying. Some Shalini sings very well. This sentence, what is the subject?
Shalini.
Shalini, okay. So what is the predicate? Predicate is something about the subject, right? So what is predicate here?
Sings well.
Sings well. I'm saying something about the subject, sings well. Okay. So predicate logic usually deals with predicates and also it allows quantifiers. So what do you mean by quantifiers? That is, I'll say there are some people, all the people, like that many things you can include. Instead of speaking about a particular person or two persons, I'll speak about some people. Quantifying something. Quantifying means you know, right? You are speaking about some or all. So using quantifiers, you will say something. So that is called predicate logic. This predicate logic comes in module 2. First module is simply propositional logic. Okay, so what are all propositions, first of all? So that's what, as somebody said, proposition is a logical statement. Actually, it is a declarative sentence which is either true or false. So, your example, the moon is made of green cheese. What can you say about this sentence?
False.
Truth or false? Okay. Trenton is the capital of New Jersey. What is the capital of New Jersey? Huh? What is New Jersey? Where is it?
United States.
Huh?
USA.
USA. It is one of the 50 states, right? In USA. Right. Okay. So Trenton is the capital, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So that statement, truth value is true, right? Okay.
Yes.
Toronto is the capital of Canada.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oi. Canada capital is Ottawa, right? Check. What is the capital of Canada? Maybe I also may be wrong. 1 minute. I'll also check.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's Ottawa.
What is the capital?
Ottawa.
Ottawa, right? So Toronto is the capital of Canada is wrong. Actually, the truth value of that particular statement is
It's
false. False. Okay, next. The next sentence. 1 plus 0 equal to 1.
Truth value is true.
True. 0 plus 0 is 2. You know it is false. Right? Okay. So examples that cannot be propositions, right? That are not propositions. Sit down. What type of sentence is that? Commanding
It's an
statement.
order. Yes.
Order.
I think there is some name for that, right? If you order, there is some name for that statement. Some name is there. Please find it.
Imperative sentence.
Imperative sentence. Yes. Okay. What time is it?
It is a
Questioning
question.
sentence. There is also some name for that.
Interrogative sentence.
Interrogative sentence. Correct. Okay. So all interrogative, imperative, these statements could not be logical statements, right? Okay. X plus 1 is equal to 2. Why this is not a logical statement?
Unknown.
There is a
Value.
variable.
There is a variable. If you fix that variable, then it may become a logical statement. But you need to fix that variable. Okay, same way the last sentence. That's what, yeah. Usually, whenever, see, our aim is, we'll consider the real life situation, right? We'll try to write it symbolically, use the logical connectors, write it symbolically, and we'll try to find a solution, whether all the statements together, will it be consistent or not consistent. So what do you mean by consistent? Say, suppose if I say some 3 to 4 sentences are consistent, what do you mean by saying that the sentences are consistent?
They justify each other.
It should not contradict each other. It should give a valid meaning. All the sentences give some conclusion, right? There should be some conclusion from all the statements. If the statements itself contradict each other, that cannot happen. They are absurd statements. No? Then we say those statements to be what? Inconsistent statements, right? As you studied in linear algebra, the system is consistent. That means it is going to give a solution. So same way here also I can say what? The set of propositions is consistent, it is going to give a valid conclusion. Otherwise you say it is inconsistent or it won't have any valid conclusion. Alright. Okay, so usually we use lowercase letters to denote the propositions. Small p, small q, small r, like that. Right? Okay. The following are not propositions again. My cat is beautiful. Why? Why it is not a proposition?
M is capital.
I think it's an individual preference.
That is the correct way. It is individual preference. See, for me, that cat may not be beautiful. All these certain things which are abstract, which cannot be measured properly, you cannot measure it, right? See, I'm saying some particular girl is beautiful. So it depends upon person to person. I'm saying some particular boy is very smart. So it also depends from person to person. Okay, it likes. Even I'm saying that particular girl sings very well. That is also not measurable. Maybe if you frame some rules and according to that, if you do, that is different. But I cannot conclude that she is the one person who sings very well. That cannot be concluded. So it won't have a logical value. Certain abstract things which measures the characters of something, that is not measurable. And you cannot conclude that it is a declarative or logical statement. Okay, check. Do you know this person, George Boole? Who is that?
A founder of Boolean algebra?
Yes, of course. Boolean algebra. He is the founder. Under his name, we are studying now Boolean algebra. So what is Boolean algebra? Namma, what do you mean by Boolean algebra? In Boolean algebra, there are only two things, right?
Yes, ma'am. Two variables, true or false.
Variables illa, two conclusions. Either it is true or false. There is no probability that it will be true for 50%, 25%. All these things are not there. Only two possibilities, either true or false. So that is Boolean algebra. That concept was introduced by George Boole. Okay, so what are the applications? You know, some applications in the Boolean algebra have lots and lots of applications in computer science, digital electronics, expressing conditions in programs, right? Can you say a situation where you use Boolean algebra? If this is equal to, then run this loop. It will check only two possibility, right? If it is equal to, then it continues. Equal to means what? If A is equal to B, then run this. That means if A is equal to B is true, then the loop will be running. Otherwise, it will come out of the loop. So that is expressing conditions programs. Then queries to databases and search engines. So even in SQL, you use the concept of what? Boolean algebra, right? Can you give one sentence? I think you know what you mean by SQL. What is SQL?
Structured query language.
Can you give one example? What is the
If
use
the
of
is in the database or not?
Okay, is it in the database or not? So whenever you write an SQL, it fetches something from the database. So only if the condition is matched, it fetches out. Otherwise, it won't be available in that particular database. So that way you are using Boolean algebra then. Okay, so preposition, now we are giving a general definition. What is a preposition? It is a declarative statement with some definite meaning. It can have either a truth value true or a truth value false. It can neither, I cannot say it will be true and also false, not happen. Okay, only one value is there. Okay, that's what. See, examples of preposition. It is raining. Simply, if I say it is raining, you will ask which place you are mentioning and what time you are saying. Everything is there, right? That's what in bracket it is given in a given situation. In a particular situation, if it is true, then I can call this as a declarative statement. Right? On a particular date, if I'm saying where the forecast is seems to be rainy and also it is raining at that particular time, and if it is true, we'll say it is raining. Okay. New Delhi is the capital of India. Of course, all these things are what? Prepositions. The following are not prepositions. Even I am getting bored. Who is there? Interrogative sentence. Meaningless interjunction. Imperative. As somebody said correctly, imperative. Just do it. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. This has no meaning. Right? You cannot conclude this is what? Declarative or interrogative or imperative. Right? Simply if you say 1 plus 2, you are not saying anything about that. 1 plus 2 simply you are saying. It doesn't have any meaning. So it is also not going to have a valid conclusion. Okay. So I think you know very well. There are two types of operators. One is unary operator and the other is binary operator. What do you mean by unary operator? So whenever you say
Require only single operator.
yes, beta. Unary means?
Only one operand.
Only one operand. Can you give one example for a unary operator?
Plus of 3.
Enema? One unary operator. Negation.
Increment of decrement.
Oh, increment or decrement. Okay. So as far as logic is concerned, I am going to see only negation. Negation operator. P is the negation of P. So you are operating something on that. So negation operator is a unary operator. Okay. So binary operator means it has two operands on it. So what are the binary operators so far you have studied? Binary operators. Addition,
subtraction, multiplication, division.
Logically speaking, Don't go for mathematics.
Union intersection.
Or and.
Okay, or and
XOR.
that's all. Okay, R is also, there is one more R. This is called, okay, I'll tell you that later. R and you said, negation is unary operator. Okay, we'll see that R later. Okay. R has another name. What is that called? Disjunction. And has another name. What is that called? Conjunction. Conjunction, disjunction. Oh, that's what. See this. Negation operator, unary. All other operators are binary. Conjunction and. The symbol is this. Disjunction means R. Symbol is this. There is one more R called exclusive R. And what is this R called? This is called inclusive R. This all is called inclusive, right? See, for example, okay. One sentence. Can you give me one sentence? Either one of them is true or both can be true. That way, can you give one example? Two sentences you are giving. Okay. Either one of them is true or both can also be true. That type of sentence can you give? If you connect them, that R is called inclusive R.
Earth revolves around the sun and it is raining outside.
Enema, can you please repeat?
Earth revolves around the sun and it is raining outside.
Or.
Or it is raining outside.
Or it is raining outside. Right. So both can happen together also, right? It is not necessary that only one will happen. Even both can happen together or one of them can happen. So this is an inclusive R. For exclusive R means only one will happen, not both together. Any one example?
It is a sunny day or it is
Rainy
raining.
day. Or it is a rainy day. Right? Okay, good. Both cannot happen. Either it is a sunny day or it is a rainy day. So this R, whatever we are using in between, that is called exclusive R. And usually the symbol is this one. Something like anything. Okay. This R. This symbol. Or they are using something like this. For inclusive R, we use this symbol. Okay. Next is implication operator. What do you mean by implication operator? Whenever P is true, Q is true. That is, if P is true, then Q is true. Right? That operator, this symbol is called implication. Wait, I'll tell you later. Just get introduced to these operators. Then biconditional operator. That means P is true if and only if Q is true. If and only if means what? Both ways it is true. P is true means then Q is true. And if Q is true, then P is true. Both ways it is true. Right? Okay. So we'll see the truth tables for each and everything now. Suppose P is a statement, Q is a statement, right? I'm going to draw the truth table for, make the truth table for PRQ. Truth table everybody knows? I think you know better than me. You know it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So whenever two variables are there, how many possible values of P and Q are there?
4.
4. How do you decide that?
2
You
to the
should
power
have
variables.
2 power n rows. N denotes the number of variables. Here there are 2 variables, 2. So 2 power 2, 4 rows should be there. Okay. So better you can fill like this. 4 rows now. 2 trues, 2 false, Then true, false, true, false. Anyway, each of the variable P and Q should have two trues and two false. Right. So what do you mean by this particular row? When P is also true, Q is also true, what can you say about P or Q? I'm speaking about inclusive OR.
Ma'am, true.
True. When P is true, Q is false.
Again, true.
True. See, P or Q is true when any one of them is true, or even both is true. Right? So it will be false only when both are false. Okay. So what about here? Again, it is true, false. Sorry. Okay, then P and Q. So when will P and Q will be true? P should also be true, Q should also be true. In all other cases, it is not true, right? So only for the first row, because both P and Q are true, it is true. All other cases, the truth value of this particular statement is false. Because why here it turns out to be false? Even though P is true, Q is not true. So I need P and Q, both P and Q to be true. But here, either one is true, either P is true or Q is true, okay, I'll accept. The statement will become true. Okay, then P or Q, P and Q is over. Now I'll tell you, this statement you have to be very careful here. This is called conditional operator. P condition Q. So when this will be true? If P is true, then Q is true. That is the meaning of this particular statement. Okay, so I'll give you an example here. Depending on that example, we can fill the table, right? I'm saying, you study well. This is the usual sentence I used to give. You study well. Q. You will get good marks. So if I write this P tends to Q, what is the meaning of this? So I'm saying, or your mother is saying, okay, P tends to Q. That means if you study well, then you will get good marks. I'm calling a student, I'm saying, so beta, if you study well, you will get good marks. When will this statement become false?
If you do not study well.
Huh?
If P negates.
P negates, huh? Think well and say. So, see, that boy will come and feel. So he has not cleared the examination. He'll come and ask me, right? He's not going to ask me in this situation. Okay. He has studied well, he has cleared. He's not going to come and ask me. He'll be very happy because, ma'am, you said I studied well, I cleared the examination. So in this situation, he didn't study, but he has cleared. Will he come and ask me? He'll be happy. By God's grace, anyway, he got good marks. I don't know about that God's grace to be filled, right? By God's grace, without studying, he has got good marks. At that time also, he will never say, madam, whatever you said is not true. You won't come and ask me, right? Okay. He has not studied well and he has not got good marks. This time also he cannot claim. Your words become wrong, right? So when will my words will become wrong? If I say something, if it is not happening, when will that boy come and ask me? Actually, he is studying well and he is not able to score marks. Ma'am, as you said, I studied well. I studied all these things. But after even doing that, I am not getting good marks. So what he'll surely come and ask me, right? Your words your words are not correct. You said you study well, you will clear the examination or you will get good marks. I studied well, but I didn't get good marks. So whatever you said is not correct. So my words will go wrong, or that P tends to Q will go wrong only when P is true, Q is false. Clear? Are you accepting this?
Yes, ma'am.
What about others?
Yes, ma'am.
Please, you think a situation and think, check whether what I said is right. So you may wonder why here it is not false. Here, he didn't obey me, right? I asked him to study well, he didn't study, so he didn't pass. So my statement is, if P is true, then Q has to be true. So if P is true and if Q is not true, then only the statement goes wrong. That is, here P is true and Q is false. Here alone it is false. All other things it is true one. That is the truth value here. So same way, forget about these examples. Just tell me what will be Q tends to be. Don't think about this example. Just general. Q tends to be, how will you fill? When it will become false?
If Q is true and P is false.
If Q is true and P is false. Okay, what about first row? True. Second row? Second row, what should I fill here?
True, ma'am.
True. Here?
False.
True. Okay, ba? Sorry. Is it boring? Boring, ah? Hello? Everybody had your breakfast, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Okay. So now tell me, P biconditional Q. Biconditional and both this also is true, this also is true. Both are true. What happened? Ah. Okay. Now tell me. Can you fill the truth table?
True, false, false, true.
True, false. Then third row.
False.
False.
True.
And final one, true.
Nothing, yeah. You have to find the and between these two things. Use and between these two things. That is B biconditional Q. So if you use and between, here both are true, so it is true. Here both are true, it is true. In these two cases, one is true, the other is false. So the truth value is false. Clear? No.
Ma'am,
Yes, Pa, tell me.
ma'am, can you again explain the false condition in the implication operator?
Yes. Yeah. I think this one you are asking, right?
Yes, ma'am, the last two.
Yes. See, what is the meaning of P tends to Q? If P is true, then Q should be true. That is the meaning of this. Whenever P is true, Q should be true. Then the statement is true. So I don't bother about when P is false. When P is false, it may or may not be true. I don't bother. I am insisting when P is true, Q should be true. So when will the statement become false?
When Q is false.
When Q is false, along with
P being true.
P is true. When P is true, if Q happens to be false, then my statement is not true. Right? Because I am promising whenever P is true, Q is true. So only for this particular case, the truth value of the statement is false. In all the other cases, the truth value is true. Because I don't mind it. So here P is itself false. In both the cases, these two cases, P is itself false. Sorry, I'm seeing somewhere. I'm sorry. In both these cases, P is itself false. So I don't bother about Q. It may or may not be true. I'm speaking only on the situation only when P is true. When P is true, I need Q to be true. If it is not true, then that situation is going to give you a false value. Okay? Clear? Got it? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these are all examples here. So whenever you have a statement, I have black hair, So I am giving you an example. The negation of I have black hair is I have white hair. Is that correct?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No. You should say only I don't have black hair or I do not have black hair. You are not supposed to say something more, add more. I have black hair, no, I do not have black hair. Other things I don't know. Negation is just negating whatever is given. Right. Conjunction also you know, just now I told you. See, I will have rice for lunch. I will have noodle for dinner. Nice. So I will have rice for lunch and I will have noodle for dinner. Da, 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 da. Disjunction operator. So my car has a bad engine. Example, see. P. My car has a bad engine. My car has a bad carburetor. Right? So either my car has a bad engine or my car has a bad carburetor. So is this inclusive or exclusive or? Obviously inclusive or, right? It is not exclusive. I cannot say both cannot happen, right? Both cannot happen, you cannot say. Even your car can have a bad engine and also bad carburetor. Both are also possible. But at least one is true. Right? Okay, so it is inclusive or. That's what the statement and all we have seen already. So read this sentence and fill up all these things. I think you have time. It rained last night. P denotes it rained last night. So what will be not P?
It did not rain last night.
Sorry. Did not rain last night. Okay, there should be a gap here. Last night. Okay. And then R and not P.
The lawn was wet this morning and it did not rain last night.
Sure. Okay. Not R or P or Q. The lawn was not wet this morning, or it rained last night, or the sprinklers came on last night. Okay. So exclusive are. Please read this sentence and tell me why in this particular situation you say this is an exclusive are. Why it is not inclusive?
Because if the course is not taken, then the grade cannot be achieved.
Okay. Is he right? What about others? Are you all listening? So P says, the first statement says, I'll earn an A in this course. Or A grade you will get, right? Q says, I'll drop this course. So if you use R in between this, either only one of them can happen. Both cannot happen. So after earning A, you won't drop the course. You cannot say, I'll earn an A in this course and also I'll drop the course. Both cannot happen. So it is not inclusive R. Only one of them will happen. So it is exclusive R. Right? So exclusive R, can you say the truth table? We didn't fill it, right? PQ, exclusive R. True, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. Okay, exclusive R.
False, true, true, false.
Okay, false.
True,
Second.
true, false.
False.
True, ma'am.
Think about this and say, please.
Because only one should be true, so.
So when will this statement be false? Which cannot happen actually. Both are true, cannot happen, right? Now think about this and say, what will be the truth value? Think about this, yeah?
True.
Huh?
Ma'am, true.
True. Okay.
And last should be false.
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 Is that right? Everybody, you accept? Why this type of conclusion we are giving? Because it is very well said that both cannot happen together. And even if both are false, we are giving a false value. Is this true? Shall we check? What you said is right? Yes, it is right. Okay.
Ma'am, then how did our example become exclusive or the person cannot drop the course and still can't get an A grade? It is possible now.
Okay, we'll go back to the example. I will earn an A in this course, or I will drop this course.
The student didn't drop the course and like suppose he got a B grade.
Okay. So even if both are false also, the statement will be true, right? Nothing will happen. See, I'm saying both cannot happen. You are asking about which one, yeah? I'm not able to understand. Which one you are asking?
Ma'am, we
For
are saying
false and
like
false.
two false will become a true in our example. Like you showed the example which is exclusive, all right?
Okay.
The student example about dropping the course.
I understood. The student earn an A. Okay. He does not earn an A in this course. And he does.
Like he does not earn an A and he does not drop the
Then
course.
it is false only, right? See, what is not P? He does not earn an A in this course. And not Q means what? He does not drop the course. Any one thing should happen, right? Or both. See, the meaning is any one thing should happen and both cannot happen. But here both not happening, right? So in that case, both the false will give you false only. The value of the statement is false only. See, what is the meaning of this particular sentence? Among the two statements, either one should happen, but both cannot happen. So if both does not happen means then what? Then also the truth value is false. Both does not happen means what? I will not earn an A in this course. And
Yes, ma'am, I understood, ma'am.
Enema?
Yes, ma'am, I understood.
Understood. Right.
Yes.
So Pat is a singer or a writer. What type of R is this?
Inclusive.
Enema?
Inclusive.
Inclusive. Pat is a man or a woman?
Exclusive.
Exclusive. Okay. Implication, truth tables and all we have seen. Okay. Different ways of expressing P tends to Q. Please read this and try to understand. Whether you are able to understand or not, tell me. If P, then Q. P implies Q. These are all the other ways of saying. P is sufficient for Q. Why P is sufficient for Q? So I want you to say something about, there are two things. Necessary and sufficient condition, right? Very important. Necessary and sufficient condition. So you should say what do you mean by necessary condition. So P is necessary for Q. Suppose if I am saying what is the meaning of that? P is sufficient for that. What is the meaning of that? You know that?
Ma'am, necessary, it must be there. Sufficient, if it's there, it will work. If it's not there also, it still works.
Correct. I think he's correct. What's your name?
I'm Arjun, ma'am.
Arjun. Arjun is correct. See, suppose if I say P is necessary for Q, then only if P satisfies Q will satisfy. Right? But it is, but I cannot say that whenever P satisfies, Q will satisfy. Please try to understand. P is necessary for Q now. Only if P is true, Q can be true or cannot be true. But I can conclude that whenever P is not true, Q is not true. So that is the meaning of necessary. But sufficient, suppose if I say Q is sufficient for P. What is Q is sufficient for P? Can you say? Q is true now, then
P will be true.
P is true. But whenever Q is not true, even in that case also P may be true. Okay. So necessary condition means P is necessary for Q now. When P is not true, Q is not true. Right? But when P is sufficient for Q, and even P is not true, Q can be true. But when P is true, Q should be true. Okay? Sure. Okay, I'll stop here.